a mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Woo! Woo! Good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Wake and Jake. Myself, King BBD. Everyone live in the chat. Chat's popping early. I love it. It's probably because it was a big baseball weekend. Yesterday got a little nutty. I feel like I kept looking down at my computer at one point when we were recording Talking Yanks, and like Buxton was hitting homers. Bellinger was hitting homers. Baseball has been, will be hot in the streets. Of course, the cherry on top is we highlight the best players in our sport. Angel Hernandez with a disaster of a night behind the plate. The same headline for 25 years. Let's keep running it. We'll talk about that a little bit. It's kind of the same conversation that I feel like we've had before. We'll talk about Miggy Cabs. I guess kind of what it means. You know, if you're a baseball fan, you've probably seen the graphic at this point of everyone chasing 3,000 hits, and like nobody's close. Like it's gonna be a little while. It's pretty nuts. Tyler Kinn in the chat. Got a teaching job at CCSU. Any suggestions where to live in New Britain? No. When I was living in New Britain, it was Dangerous Nights Crew, college times. I think my rent for a little bit was $250, and the building reflected that. So go to West Hartford, man. West Hartford's pretty nice. No offense, New Britain. Love hard hitting. Anyways, we'll probably wrap up the episode with more Connecticut town talk like we always do. But we're going to focus on starting on the baseball for now. Someone get your BBD?
You did.
Not good? Okay. Connecticut town talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we always end the show with.
We always. We have traditions. If we don't have traditions, what do we have? Couple things. If you haven't watched our GeoGuessr videos, we had one come out today. You're going to be intimidated by the time, and that's for a reason. The video is I think it's around 64, 65 minutes long, because we gave ourselves an hour to try to defeat GeoGuessr. If you've never played, it's basically you have to guess what country you're in just by looking at roads and stuff. We play it a little differently than a lot of people. It's a lot of fun. But we had to make the video an hour long because
that's what the challenge is.
If we said there was an hour-long challenge and the video is 20 minutes, you would know the result. So here's all I'll say. It's must-watch. If you're looking to kill some time today, that's on our JJTV channel, JOMBOY JTV.
It feels like what's the phrase, like a flagpole video.
It was a moment for the company. We're going to start doing them more regularly. I mean, the highs and lows of it are incredible. And we've gotten pretty silly with it, and it's a lot of fun. So go check that out.
Should be live shortly.
Yeah, I think it might.
Already.
It's like uploading, so I don't know if that means it's going live at noon or if it's live whenever it uploads, but it's coming out soon. We'll also, I said last episode we'd touch on some NBA playoffs talk, and we did not at all because we had Jolly Olive. We had a really fun episode. So sometimes that happens, people. Sometimes that happens. All right, let's talk some baseball because that's what we do here. Let's reverse engineer it. A reverse cron pod. The final game any baseball fan saw last night was the Phillies and the Brewers. The Phillies hosted the Brewers for 3. Brewers end up taking 2 out of 3. That crescendoed to last night's game Lauer and Nola both shoved. I think Eric Lauer had like 13 strikeouts in 6 innings. How about that?
Saw some like savant graphs of him. Like every year he's added like miles per hour to his fastball and gotten better.
A little
It's cool.
I mean, again, when we talk about this offseason, when the offseason gets barren, luckily we're far away from that, I want to draft like coaching units, and it'll be like Brewers pitching or Rays pitching or Giants hitting or something like that. Maybe Guardians hitting. Not after this weekend, though. What up? Got him. I was going to...
just like that, in general, that Lauer trade has had a lot. Lauer for Grisham, Lauer and Urias. It's been a lot of
That's
back and forth
right.
on who that's favored.
That's
It's
so
an interesting
funny.
trade.
In my head, I've had Urias for Grisham and I had Davies for Lauer as 2 separate trades, but it was one same trade, and it kind of was. 2 young players for 2 pitchers.
Yeah, 2 pitchers who had debuted and
Young player for pitchers. So yeah, a little Brew Crew magic. Unfortunately, how the game will get remembered, instead of highlighting Eric Lauer, it will be remembered that our guy Angel Hernandez misses just a couple atrocious calls. Kyle Schwarber, one of the most beloved guys in baseball, throws a fit at the plate after a horrible strike call. He just goes nuts, and it's, Jom's working on the breakdown right now, but he's basically saying, like, you've been off the plate this way, you've been off the plate that way, high, low, both teams. Like, he's not even mad about his personal at bat. He's just mad at how bad of an umpire he is. And I'm sorry if I sound kind of frustrated or not even. The sound of my voice is just the not wanting to give the effort of explaining it, but MLB, I really don't think they have any idea how bad it is for the sport that Angel Hernandez is the conversation for 24 hours for being a bad umpire. That's just such a bad reflection of the sport. Eric Lauer threw a game that should be applauded. 6 innings shutout, 13 strikeouts. That's Looney Tunes. That's a ridiculous game. And here we are. The story the next day is Angel Hernandez. So I hate that. There's really nothing we can do. You wonder how strong is the umpire union, and they still protect him. And, Joe West was his own thing, but the players respected Joe West as an umpire, so that...
Like Joe West, at least, like, I think end of the year would always, like, he grades out, it's accurate. He's
right. He
got
would
a
get
personality.
He would get playoff games because he did really well during the year. Angel Hernandez literally doesn't get playoff games. There was a lawsuit where Angel Hernandez sued Major League Baseball for being, like, racist, I believe.
Yeah, for, like, not being named a crew chief after however many years.
MLB said, no, it's just because you're a bad umpire. And MLB won the court case. This isn't just guy in front of a microphone, Angel Hernandez, bad ump. No. A court of law agreed with Major League Baseball that he's a bad ump. And so there he is behind home plate, Sunday Night Baseball, one of baseball's opportunities to truly grow the game on a national level that they complain that they can't, yet we've somehow been able to. 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place over here. It's an old TV show. It's Ryan Reynolds' breakout TV show. Did you know that?
Didn't know.
2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
I like that.
I'll look it up. Maybe I'm misremembering that. 2 guys.
I blindly believe you on it.
I blindly believe me too. Yeah, it was Ryan Reynolds.
That's awesome.
1998.
Crazy.
Anyways.
Crazy we get like once a year. We get like a 24 hours of like Angel Hernandez words is the talk of baseball.
Yeah.
Cycle. We get at least one of those a year. Got it out of the way early.
You hope so. You hope it's done. But we're going to see it again at some point, and you just kind of hope it's not against your team. So that's fun. And yeah, it ties into, how about this? Maybe this is a good comparison for baseball fans. How How many times have you heard your fan base compare about like the score bug or the bottom line or something small about the broadcast? And it's like, oh, the box on the screen or whatever you don't like or people you know don't like. All of that stuff matters to fanhood. And I always bring it back to this comparison. You turn on any NFL game and you get the same broadcast. You get that view from the side. You know what you're looking at. You get a couple funky camera angles. Some have pylon cam. Some now have that floating camera behind the quarterback. I like that. But 90% of the plays, you're watching the same thing and you're getting the same experience. MLB, the cameras, you get slightly different cameras in stadiums. Some have more cameras, some have less cameras. And the umpire literally calling the game is like a variant on every play. And how much that affects the final product and getting that to customers and consuming it. How many conversations are being had right now I used to work at an electrical supply place where electricians would come in. You'd have the highest level basic conversations that normally two guys could have, and you kept it moving. How many of those are happening at offices and places where they're like, oh, baseball, Angel Hernandez. How long has this guy been missing calls? That's not good for the sport. It's just not. It's awful for the sport. Aaron Nola, seven innings, 1 hit, shutout. We should be talking about that. Not a big hitting series, which you never know. Phillies, Brewers. Brewers take 2 out of 3. Phillies are starting to... It's obviously early, but they're not winning series. Phillies are 6-10. It's a big payroll. They brought in Dombrowski. It's early. I'm joking.
And sure, take a step back. Not panic or anything, but
things got to start turning.
You would rather a good start than a bad one.
You don't want to hit May, and your goal for May is to get back to 500. So,
you want to stay within a series of 500.
5 days left in April. 30 days past September, April, June, and November. You kids can use that at home. I teach the months to a lot of people. Okay, that box is checked. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. Wow, this series was a little bit of a blind spot for me. They split the first 2, it looks like, and then the Dodgers blow them out the final game. Kershaw with another good start, obviously. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run.
Love that.
Bellinger's probably the story, right?
Yeah.
Bellinger has a 2-homer game. His stats on the year now look good. Your annual reminder that spring training just does not matter. Cody Bellinger in spring training had a 301 OPS, a 139 batting average, 18 strikeouts, and 36 at-bats. Basically as bad as you could do. That's a similar spring training to what I could put up. Cody Bellinger now has a 915 OPS, 4 homers on the year, and by the way, he hits at the bottom of the Dodgers lineup. So that's probably your biggest takeaway in Dodger land. Luke Voit to the IL, don't like that. His injuries are starting to add up.
What's he on the IL with?
Bicep tendon injury.
At least that's different.
Big biceps.
Because he's had the knee and I think some back stuff.
Yeah, so legs and back.
At least it's something else.
Interesting. Giants sweep the Nationals. Good. National season is already over. Giants are back. Credit to them. I was a little nervous.
Tough Mets series. Get to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw some of my NL West people I follow on the internet. Kelsey Winger. Susie Hunter, Susie Hunter. 4 10-win teams in the NL West right now. There's only 1 in each NL division. The AL East now has 2 10-win teams with the Yankees and the Blue Jays. How about that?
Tied.
Giants roll over the Nationals. Nationals are going to have a bad year, and that's fine. They know that. Outside of signing Nelson Cruz. I know that. Cardinals. Take 2 out of 3 from the Reds. Reds are kind of a walkover team so far this year.
Biggest outlier record here, like either direction.
Yeah. Gonna be a long year. 3-13 for the Reds. That's tough. Nick Lodolo, young pitching prospect, gets his first major league win. We like that. We like that. Cards off to a 9-5 start, and that's obvious because they're the Cardinals. Just a well-run franchise.
Guess Reds, like, at least it seems like for the most part, young guys are getting a chance. I don't know if I'm missing somebody, but
yeah,
they're rolling out some young pitchers that are interesting.
Yeah, I mean Lodolo and Hunter Green. If you can find 2 young pitchers that can be your future, that would be a win.
Let them work it out, and
we will see for Cincy. The Marlins take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. Braves. If the Phillies weren't 6-10, we'd be talking about how the Braves are 7-10. Atlanta has not been winning a lot of series this year. Good for the Marlins, man. Man, I really want the Jeter doc to come out on why he truly left the Marlins. Because now that I'm in on Jesus Sanchez, their lineup looks a little better. I know they were in on Castellanos. I don't know if I fully divulged this on Talking Baseball or on Wake and Jake, but some of my little birdies reached out and were like, Castellanos is down to Miami or the Phillies. He's waiting for the final offer from the Phillies. And I think they beat the Marlins. And I think Jeets, right around that same time period, was out.
Yeah.
So
and Castellanos had a lot of quotes, like basically saying that he's come out and been like, I thought I was going to be on the Marlins.
And I guess the weird thing for me is, like, would that really be enough for Jeter to leave? Like, no. Like,
like them being...
You could find an outfielder.
Them being, like, in that conversation, and they got Garcia and Soler.
Right.
It doesn't seem like they're unwilling to spend. So there's got to be another angle there.
So I don't know. Their offense is doing fine so far. They're better than middle of the pack. Their pitching has been better than middle of the pack. They go to play 3 against the Nationals. Go rack up your wins. Then they host Seattle and Arizona. So I don't know. Trev said it really, really well when he did his prediction episode. That baseball's a 6 sport where a lot of teams, if you make the playoffs, you have a chance to win. Any team in the playoffs has a chance to win. So it's kind of like, what team do you think can somehow make the playoffs and actually be a threat? And he said, like, his fringes, the fringiest team you could think of is the Miami Marlins. To do it for a whole year, nobody's going to believe that until they see it. But, man, can they pitch.
Their stat page offensively, I haven't looked at the pitchers yet, is kind of fascinating. It's like the guys listed as their starters. Like, they're not bad, but it's just
right.
It's like an unimpressive stat page. But like all the guys listed on their bench have basically the same number of plate appearances, just somehow aren't up there. They're all mashing. It's like, so they're as a team they are hitting.
Who's having their best season? Fangraphs is telling me Jazz.
Jazz, especially if you factor in like number of at bats. John Birdie, fewer at bats, but he's hitting when he's hitting.
Birdie. He had a highlight play this weekend.
Brian Anderson is good. He's not currently listed as their starter. They kind of have a one extra infielder situation. Maybe he's not hitting yet, but I'm sure he's got a good glove going. Haven't watched a lot of the Fish.
Haven't watched enough yet.
That's why this has been a fascinating thing
Braves,
to look at for me.
I see some Braves fans in the chat. They're chilling. Yeah, you should be. I mean, you just won the ring. It's really early, but 7-10.
Aguilar hasn't clicked yet, but that guy will hit.
Joey Wendell, 4 hits. Mets take 2 out of 3 from my Snakes. Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. First game, the Mets won in extras. So, hey, that series could have been either way, man. I think the bigger thing is I think DeGrom's getting an MRI today. And I think Lindor's getting an MRI today. I think someone tweeted that at me. So those are pretty important ones. I know Jolly Olive is recording Shea Station right now. And he was really nervous that DeGrom was getting an MRI on his birthday.
Or like I think the results come back today or something. There are MLB players. He's getting it and getting the results today.
Yeah.
It's DeGrom.
Pirates take 3 out of 4 from the Cubbies. How about it? Let's check in on Cole Tucker. Maybe I'll send him a text message. Not great so far. Yeah, I did. Someone did tweet this at me that one of the highlights of the weekend was that the Cubs won that one game, 21-0. And then the Pirates won 4-3, 4-2, 4-3. How about it, Pirates? So yeah, they get absolutely destroyed one game, but they win 3 out of 4. That's I feel like that's something that Jemima will have a field day with. Did he
8-8 Pirates.
There's some color organizing, but I think we told people. Anyways, yeah, go Pirates, go, babe. O'Neal Cruz with a big highlight this weekend. Walk-off homer, pimped it kind of perfectly. Pirates off to a little 500 start. Good for you, kids. What else in the NL? That's kind of it in the NL. There's one interleague series, right? What was it? Rockies, Tigers. Rockies take 2 out of 3. Rockies keep matriculating the ball down the field. They are 10-5. Man, how about my Rocks, baby? Let's go. Let's go. Dodgers 11-4, Giants 11-5, Rockies 10-5, Padres 10-7. 10-7 would be a great start in any other division. And by the way, follow-up shout-out to Shea Station, Jerry, and Jolly. Mets are 12-5.
Building themselves a nice cushion. No other team in the division above 500 right now.
Mets are 12-5. LGM, babe. They also did get out to a big start last year. There are some different things with this team. Scherzer,
they're known to kind of get off to good starts in their history, so I don't think Mets fans are like feeling safe by any means.
Carrasco looks really good so far for them. He kind of got written off. If he has a good year,
if he's what like Cookie Carrasco has been in his career, like
yeah.
Obviously, they have a good rotation as is, but like special.
Him and Bassett, like those are 2 really good starting pitchers. We'll see. They go to St. Louis, and then they welcome Philly and Atlanta. So that's where again it's still so early in the baseball season. A bad week and a half, and we can be down talking the Mets, but they are 3rd in starting pitcher ERA, and they are 2nd in on base percentage. Like they're kind of doing it on both sides right now. So let's see. I feel like I should tie a bow on the NL. Mets, Marlins, Braves, Phillies, Nats, Cards, Brewers, Pirates, Cubs, Reds. We talked about the NL West. Pretty intense. Let's go east to west in the AL. Yankees sweep the Guardians. A Guardians team that had just swept the White Sox. They're known as a good pitching team. I think their pitching coaches will get drafted in our draft and organization draft. Good for them. Whoa. I just saw something cool. Let me finish the AL first. The Rays are the Rays. God damn it, the Rays. Feels like they're going to be around all year. Wander Franco, I didn't call him out on Talking Baseball. I said I want to see more Wander Franco highlights. He put a whole weekend together of highlight reels. He made the crazy running catch, Jeter-esque, a Yankee fan might say, a really nice play. He continues to hit. Did he have a 2-homer game?
I think Friday night was a 2-homer
Friday night was the 2-homer game. I mean, he's a freak, man. He has a 1.2 WAR so far this season, a 999 OPS. Holy crap, man. That guy's no joke. I think McClanahan dropped another good start. We'll circle back to that. Blue Jays take 2 out of 3 from the Astros. How about that? Houston, H-Town, Funky Town. Good games. 4-3, 3-2, 8-7 in 10. That first game was fun. Verlander, Springer clipped him in the first inning, the former Astro. Bregman countered with a 2-run homer of his own. I was very mad at this game. I flipped it on because it was part of my bet of the day. It was Houston to win. They were tied at 3s in the 8th, and the Blue Jays won. Blue Jays, that's a nice little road series early in the year. The one Houston win, Jeremy Pena, walk-off, the kid. Walk-off 2-run homer. Kikuchi with the bad start. Ain't that it? I mentioned the Yankees swept. They are fun. There's the whole beer on the field incident. I guess I probably have to say it again, even though I tweeted it and Talking Yanks. It's obviously unacceptable. It sucks. Me and Jimmy were talking in private. Actually, we were coming from the game. And it's weird the Yankees haven't issued like a statement. I know statements are normally just kind of BS, but like, why don't you issue the like, that's unacceptable, and if and when we find the perpetrators, they'll be banned from the stadium? Like, it feels like that should have been done by now. My counter to that was I hope they are actually doing that, so they say these 5 people are banned from the stadium for life. And yeah, it's one of the first pieces of advice I got when it came to doing the sports talk was make sure you show both sides of the argument, but then show why you're picking that side of the argument. If you're someone out there that's saying Miles Straw like induced this, it's just no. Miles Straw climbing up to yell in a fan's face, a fan that was probably saying really horrific stuff about his injured teammate, and that's what led to this? No. Yankee fans could have been the bigger person and been like, oh, Miles Straw climbing the wall to yell at fans. You just lost and you're going to lose again tomorrow. Still not great. Bigger man is loosely used there. Instead, a bunch of people threw beer cans on the field, and that sucks. And it's an awful look. We represent Yankee fans. Derek Jeter's groin is behind me in the shot. Kind of sucks. There it is. Now you really see it. Outside of that, the Yankees are kind of awesome right now. Their pitching every night is incredible. Garrett Cole finally has the good start he was looking for. Nestor Cortez. People are talking all-star game. Jameson Taillon in his 5 innings, 1 earned run, it did not get talked about. The Yankees are getting crazy pitching performance every night. DJ LeMahieu looks like the DJ LeMahieu that was getting MVP votes. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is on a crazy heater right now. Let's see what you got, kid.
See how long that keeps going. Keep it rolling, kid.
Gallo, a little sad still. Couple hits.
Hopefully unlocked something this weekend.
Couple hits.
And like the story, we should like Yankees have gotten an all-time start to a season pitching wise, while before yesterday Cole was straight up bad.
Right.
And like Judge and Stanton haven't fully clicked.
No.
And like they're still putting together enough wins without an offense that's going.
The Yankees pitching is crazy good right now and for real, and it feels impactful.
And it was crazy good last year. Like it's pretty real. Like there will be some sort of regression from this, but like it's real.
So if you heard me let out a weird noise before, it was because I looked at the AL Central standings. Do you know who's in first place in the AL Central?
I think I made a similar noise when I looked at those standings.
Your Minnesota Twins, who I think the other day they were in 4th. And again, early season baseball. But they sweep the White Sox. Are the White Sox on a 6-game loser right now? Because they got swept by the Guardians. They are.
7.
Hello, operator.
They were 6-2.
Give me number 9. And this is where you don't run too hot or too cold. Early baseball season. The Minnesota Twins, who, they shuffled up the puzzle pieces, kind of hoping for something to click. They are 8-8, 500 on top of the division. Again, we'll see what stands. Bailey Ober gave them a good start. So did Mike Kopech for the White Sox. Dylan Bundy, my guy. Is he doing it? Byron Buxton. Jakey Dark Horse MVP bet. 4 for 4 with a homer. He had a 2-homer game, including the walk-off. And then Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. I think torn hamstring.
Yeah. I think it looked like it was going to be worse than that in real time. Buxton missed however many games, still leads the league in homers.
Byron Buxton is very real. If he plays 130 games, he's got a legit shot to win the MVP. But you can't say that about a lot of baseball players. Love him.
I thought he was gonna play. I thought he was gonna be the DH for a full week. He did 1 game at DH when he came back in center. That's crazy.
Athlete. White Sox, be careful. Be careful. 6-game loser.
At the end of the
Bounce
day,
back.
whole divisions within 2 games of each other. It's April.
AL Central is losing its street cred yet again, though. I will say that. That was a conversation in the stands at the game yesterday. Rays took 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. McClanahan, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He's kind of fully developing into really nice starting pitcher for them. I'll be honest, series was a little bit of a blind spot for me, but I will tell you what stands out. Rays relievers is 0.64 ERA this series. That sounds like the Rays. Red Sox actually got good starting pitching. Waka, I think Whitlock started for them, and
Yeah.
Rich Hill.
Yeah, Whitlock had a 4-inning start.
4 innings, 0
yesterday.
earned runs. Watch out for Whitlock, man. That kid's legit. Yankees blew that one. Mariners sweep the Royals. We actually like that. Good for the Mariners.
They're in first right now.
They're in first place. I mean, Flexen, Rob Ray, my guy Brash. Final game, 12 innings. It seems like a fun one. Mariners put up a 13-burger in game 2. Mariners are a really good team. We're a little freaked out that they're the Seattle Mariners, and that division's sneaky tough. My Halos, who didn't have a great weekend. Astros been off to a slow start.
Walk off yesterday.
Yeah,
Jeremy Pena.
and they were trying to come back in game 2. Oh, I was talking about Halos for a second. But go Seattle, go. They're legit. That roster's legit. Every time you look at it, Ty France. Ty France. Ty France is so good. Jeff Passan's tweeting about him. Jeff Passan doesn't just do that, people. He's protective over those tweets and notifications. J.P. Crawford, in a non-joking way for talking baseball, he's off to a really good start. Orioles took 2 out of 3 from the Angels. I am now hated in Orioles land. I thought it was a hapless joke about commenting under each Orioles win about them racing to 50. A couple Orioles friends are pretty mad about that. I understand why. I thought about it, and I was like, I get that. I think I'm going to keep doing it. Why not? Hopefully they get to 50 wins. Ooh. I didn't know this. John Means is getting TJ.
Announced, I think, Saturday morning.
Damn. That sucks. And they almost came back in the third game. Angels went up 6-0, and Orioles came back. So, Orioles, it's not that I hate you. It's that I want you to be good. Like, we have the same mission. I guess I am trolling in a way, and I'm sorry. But I'm not.
Just they've been so bad for a while.
It's a while now.
And kind of every other team in the division has had their up and down years.
Like the
in this
Blue
time.
Jays, who, like, in theory, the Orioles and the Blue Jays should be competing on some level.
Like that, and they
Like it's Yankees, Red Sox. Jays, Orioles were kind of the other traditional team, with the Rays being the new cats. The Rays, they're their own monster, but like we're almost
like the Jays and Orioles both like started their rebuilds at the same time, right? Like
so 2016,
they were both good.
the Orioles and the Blue Jays were both 89-win teams. And then they kind of reset their teams. Those were like Josh Donaldson's Blue Jays and Jose Bautista. So then they kind of reset. And now they're back in like this powerhouse of a team where the Orioles are still kind of what's going on. Orioles deserve a little bit of love. Their pitching has been strong. So go Orioles, go. They took 2 out of 3 from the Halos. I'll eat that. Rangers take 2 out of 3 from the Athletics. These teams are both Holy smokes, Athletics had one of the worst hitting series you'll see. Good for Rangers pitching, I guess. Give them a lot of crap. I guess there wasn't a lot of offense in that series in general. So basically, Mariners, Halos, Athletics, Astros, Rangers, Twins, Guardians, Tigers, White Sox, Royals, Yankees, Jays, Rays, Sox, 7-9, Orioles.
Red Sox and Blue Jays face each other this week.
Red Sox, Jays, then they go see the Orioles. Orioles, what's your schedule like? Yankees, Red Sox, Twins, and the Royals. Whatever. I'm going to stop thinking about you, Orioles. You know what? Go Orioles. Win 65 this year. When's Adley come back? I know he's hurt. Adley Rushman. It's a fun name, is it?
Yeah.
Top prospect, Adley Rushman, heading to High A Aberdeen for rehab 22 hours ago. Call him up. Call up Adley and the other, who's their pitching prospect? Rodriguez?
Grayson Rodriguez, is that his name?
Yes. And I'll become an Orioles like super fan. Super fan might be dramatic.
They're like in the division against the team we like.
Bruce Zimmerman. Been pitching really well for them. Deserves love. Same with closer Jorge Lopez. They kept saying it on the broadcast, and it's one of those things you kind of scoff at a little bit. They said he liked being in the bullpen so much. This is a guy that like was a starting pitcher for a while, and not to be rude to him, he was like a failed starting pitcher. That when he went out to the bullpen, he liked it so much, he told the manager he was willing to pitch every day. Like that was the first thing he did. Which like you appreciate the hustle a little bit, and he's been nails in the bullpen. Like I remember there was a couple Jorge Lopez starts where I was like, Orioles, stop doing this to him. He was a starting pitcher 2019 through 2021. He had 49 starts. 6.27 ERA. Kansas City to Baltimore. It wasn't clicking. This year out of the bullpen, 9 innings pitched, 2 ERA. 4 saves. Good for you, kid. So much Orioles, Jake. So much Orioles. That's kind of the baseball. I guess what we haven't touched upon since I was last here was Miguel Cabrera. 3,000 hits against the Rocks. Him and Jose Iglesias have the big hug. That was nice. Former mates.
Did you see what James Smythe did?
What did James Smythe do?
He did like preseason predictions or whatever. He like your normal like I think standings and division winners and World Series and a couple award stuff. I had a couple outlier ones, and it was Miguel Cabrera 3,000th hit on April whatever against, and he got the pitcher. He's one day off and got the right pitcher. Senzatella was it?
Senzatella, yeah.
He got Senzatella. He was a day off, but.
The other thing that was cool about Senzatella, both Venezuelan baseball players, so that's kind of cool. They'll be tied together forever on that one. Miguel Cabrera opened up the stat page that you've heard Trev wax poetically about it because Trev kind of saw prime Miguel Cabrera up close and personal. Some of the stats and numbers are crazy. The Triple Crown, back-to-back MVPs, those are, as good of baseball seasons as you're going to see. A lot of people like to compare him and Albert. I'm a Pujols guy. Just am. That's my flavor. I think Albert's good was just a little better than Miguel Cabrera's good. It's not shots fired.
Ain't a big gap.
And I'll bring it up just to say some of the names. Because let's see. It was Greg. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Greg and Jack, because we were talking about it. And I can't find the chat. Nobody's getting 3,000 anytime soon.
Kinda.
Like the youngest guy with the most hits was like Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, it seems
It's like, it's tough to rack up hits. I know the game's a little different now, but I guess if I Google it, who's the name? If I say who's next to get 3,000 hits, whose name do we think is going to pop up?
Cano seems like he's gonna fall just short. He's at just under 2,700.
Okay, so I have an article.
He has a shot, and the next is Altuve.
Yeah, I have an article from CBS. The first one that pops up is Altuve.
I think age is he is just under 1,800 at 32.
Yeah. He needs 1,200 more hits. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, that's 80% of his current career. Quick fake math.
Yeah.
And not looking great. They list Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, he's got basically the same number and age.
He'd have to go 7.25 more season. He'd have to go like 8 more years being the current Freddie Freeman. He's going to fall off.
Yeah, he in theory plays the position that's less taxing on your body, so maybe the bat can stick a little longer.
Manny Machado.
These are special players. Machado's on a good pace.
He's young. He's not like a big hits guy. Like, that's not his game. He's just young and played a lot of baseball. He'd have to be really, really good. That's the whole point, Jake. We get it.
Essentially halfway there at 29. So he's probably the best shot on that group.
I mean, this is what should get people's attention. Like, Mike Trout is kind of out. Like, he would have to go kind of nuts for a few years to get back in any kind of path. I will say this. I mean, Mike Trout, some of these legendary ball players love to play baseball. Like, Miguel Cabrera is old. Albert Pujols is 42. Miguel Cabrera is 39. Like, if Trouty wants to play towards 40, I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting close to a number. And, I mean, he seems like he is like a baseball jock. Like,
just likes baseball.
Like, that's the thing. Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols have had to watch themselves decline significantly.
Yeah, especially when you take account where they were.
Like, Pujols got released. So, yeah, it's, there's some mental warfare there with all of that, too. Congrats to Miggy Cabs. Who else does the article have? Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, Trout.
I like him. But
Trout, I feel weird knocking him out because he's essentially halfway there at 30.
I wouldn't knock
he's
out
so
Trout.
Good.
He's had some injuries recently.
But
he
stay
would
healthy.
His next 4 years, he'd have to be healthy and be Mike Trout, which he can be.
I think if he's healthy,
but if he doesn't, it also almost erases it. Because those final years, man, just get really tough. Father Time is undefeated.
Even if he moves to the corners and loses some power, he can still rack up some hits.
Like Ozzie Albies is on this list, just because he's 25 and he's played a lot of baseball.
So cleared 1,000.
You have to be really good.
Like Soto. Think about how good Soto's been, and he's so young. I think he just got 500.
And the walk has become so popular that it's really, it's really difficult. Like, honestly, I think if I had to put down a bet with DraftKings, they list him at number 10 because it's almost impossible to predict this, but it'd be Vlad Jr. So think about that. Vlad Jr. coming into last season was like, who is he? Is he going to be good? He's been solid, but is he going to be good? Breaks out, he has the MVP year.
We all fully believe he's good.
I think there's an argument that he would be the best investment to be the next 3,000 hits guy.
When you really think about how few people have gotten there.
You have to be so good for so long and so healthy. That's the other secret. That's what I rant and rave about Pujols. Let me give Miggy Cabs, because I am a Pujols guy. Miguel Cabrera, for 11 seasons, averaged 157 games. Meanwhile, he hit 323, 400 with a 968 OPS. But he is out there every day. So you have to be one of the best players in the world. You almost can't take too many walks. And about for a decade, you have to be one of the best hitters in the game and healthy. Seeing that makes me feel better about Vlad.
Especially shift goes away next year.
Yeah,
Might
I
be
mean, that
hitting
can
it at a
open
good
some
time.
things up, hopefully. Yeah.
It's crazy how many of these things come down to, like, were you able to stick around, basically? Like, if you get 200 hits a year for 10 years, you're 1,000 hits short.
Right, you still need a second life.
You're 2/3 of the way there.
And Albert and Miguel's second life weren't the most pretty, but they did it. So
And they debuted early enough, but
yeah, I mean,
it almost
I guess there's a never doubt Trout caveat if he can be Mike Trout. But yeah, I'd go Vladdy.
and it makes, like, Ichiro crazy impressive.
Dude.
Obviously, I'm not the first person to be impressed by Ichiro.
No, dude, Ichiro is underrated all time. Like, he truly is. Like, if I ever get into, like, ridiculous sports radio, if that ever needs to happen, like, I would give an Ichiro's, like, the all-time hits leader speech, because I think he, like, is. 4,367 professional hits.
It's pretty cool. His first 10 years in the show averaged 230 hits a year.
We're starting to figure out how some of the Japanese league stats can transfer over, and it's not perfect. That's why we've talked about Seiya Suzuki so much. Ichiro's first full season in Japan, he was 20 years old. It's like his second best season before he came over. 385 batting average, a 995 OPS, a 445 on base. Like, some dudes are just different, and he is one of those dudes.
And we've talked a lot about like players in Japan and Korea that come over, and like the first year's not good. He immediately was the
One MVP.
one MVP,
56 stolen bases.
Like, conquered MLB.
Some of the best defense you'll see on a Major League Baseball field was by that guy. And so we just talked about, how many hits you need. And you're right. Him hitting 3,000 is insanity.
He
He
like epitome
averaged,
of health.
we talk averages again, from 2001 to 2010, so that's a 10-year span, he averaged 224 hits a season. He he averaged 159 games a season. Let some of these young, healthy guys play. I know it's more so a Yankee thing than a lot of other teams, but these guys are professional athletes. They're studs. Ichiro, am I saying it weird? I feel like I am. He averaged 159 games for 10 years. And one season, he played 146.
Yeah.
So from 2004 through 2010, he played 161 or 162 games outside of the 146. He's 35 years old that year. He played $162 games at age 36.
Go 2 years later, played $162 at 38. Yeah, and on a few years after that, going into his 40s, I mean, yeah, he played less than that, but still got 4 more years of 140 or more than 136 at 43.
That's nuts.
basically his whole career as a full-time player. He had the weird 18 and 19
Sure.
tidbits. So his whole
Player coach.
real career averaged $155 per year over 17 years.
He's a freak. Some cool stories about Ichiro, too. All right, that's kind of the baseball. We have Talking Baseball coming up after this. Should hit some NBA playoffs quick for those that have been tuning in as the late night flip channel or during the weekend days or something like that. Heat are rolling versus the Hawks. They're up 3-1. Miami, Game 5 is Tuesday. They'll try to close it out in Miami instead of having to go back to Atlanta. Hawks, their whole season was kind of bleh, for lack of another emotion.
Especially coming off last year with they made the conference finals.
Right. There's kind of there's an NBA path if you like make that first playoff leap. The league kind of wants to see you take another leap. Like, we're contenders now. And they didn't do that. They kind of went backwards. They were in the play-in games and stuff. The Heat, we talk about underrated sports franchises. I've been mentioning the Braves a lot. Miami Heat.
It's like under the radar how good they've been for so long. Spurs have got a lot of credit for a long time. For being
Going Dwayne Wade, Shaq to, like LeBron, and then
they've migrated
Spoelstra
several eras.
has been there. Like, yeah, go back to Alonzo Mourning, my favorite GIF. Just acted it out for the YouTube. The Boston Celtics and Brooklyn Nets. This was supposed to be the series, and in a way, it has been the series everyone is talking about. The Celtics, they won that first game on that buzzer beater pass. The pass to Tatum, spins around, makes the layup. Celtics win at the buzzer. Place is going nuts. And we're like, this is going to be the best series ever, huh? Celts pretty much roll the next two games. They're up 3-0. Game 4 tonight in Brooklyn. Ben Simmons is getting killed on the internet. And you know what I tell Ben Simmons? Yeah. The outfits he's wearing. Don't get me wrong, I'm an outfit guy. But you're the guy who hasn't played a game that's been a joke to a lot of NBA people, or the low-hanging fruit of jokes for a lot of NBA fans. And you're sitting in the middle of the bench on what was supposed to be a super team, looking like a highlighter and not playing. My goodness, man. Who are the people in his corner? They play tonight, 7 p.m., somewhat must watch to see if they fight a little bit or if it's just a collapse. No Yankees game tonight. Definitely going to be flipping into that.
There's a lot of chat. Like, I know, like, chatter around that practice yesterday, and it's like Katie left. The second media showed up. Kyrie, I think, just wasn't there. Ben Simmons wasn't. I think when the media got there, stopped warming up. Woke up with back spasms yesterday.
Yeah, he was supposed to come back for Game 3, and then
I think you might have saw the tweet. People were like,
back acted
could be the first guy to be eliminated from the playoffs in 2 consecutive games.
Yeah,
Like
I did see that.
That would have been cool.
Hey, coming off Ichiro, Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols playing all those games. Ben Simmons, 25, probably healthy. We'll see what goes on there. Bucks are up 3-1 on the Bulls. Again, Milwaukee, similar spot as the Heat. They got a chance to close it out at home on Wednesday. Milwaukee Bucks are crazy good. Middleton gets hurt. That could change the East if the Bucks run into the Celtics, which they should the next round. Celtics starting to find a little bit of a path. Interesting. Sixers, they're up 3-1 on Toronto, but Embiid has a thumb ligament tear. Clearly bothers him. He can't high-five his teammates and stuff. We'll see what Big Joel could pull out. Sucks. He's nasty. He's fun to watch.
MVP level player, scoring title this year, I believe.
Honestly, if I'm being, so they were up 3-0. Toronto just won Game 4, which is kind of the gentleman's move. Siakam with a big game. Kem Birch with the 6-minute start. What are we doing? Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Scott Barnes. Go Raptors, go.
There's a lot of discourse on that.
Yeah, Cleveland wasn't happy.
Cleveland wasn't happy. There's some Cade stands are like, hey, his numbers like ended up being kind of the best.
Dude,
I think Mobley's the best like blend of everything.
When RJ Barrett wasn't on the second NBA rookie team and some of the guys that were, I don't know.
I became a little bit out.
You've seen me. I defend Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers. Like I still think those matter a little bit.
I think the guys like receiving them.
Second all rookie team. Yee. Pelicans are giving the Suns hell. Devin Booker, he's been out, hamstring strain, and the Pelicans take Game 4. Brandon Ingram, what a little career path he's been on. Remember when he was kind of just like a dud for the Lakers, and then he kind of broke out, and was he going to be the next Durant? He puts up a little 30 points for the Pelicans, who, again, the Pelicans have been sneaky good. Might even be giving them something in a minute. Golden State lets the Nuggets have one. Jokic and the gang get one. Tough. I think worst matchup, kind of a nightmare for them. Jazz Mavericks is tied at 2. I think I jokingly said before the series it would go to 7, and like it has to. Dallas kind of had the game won. They were up 4 with like 30 seconds left. Luka hit a big 3. He was celebrating like they just won the series. They did not. Jazz come back, a couple good possessions. Mitchell and Gobert trying to show they don't hate each other, even though everyone kind of knows they do. That series is tied up at Diz.
Back to Dallas tonight.
And then T-Wolves Grizzlies. That series is tied up at 2. A-Rod hot in the streets. Always. T-Wolves playing a good brand of basketball. That series is kind of fun. They're two video game teams. Like you play with the Grizzlies or the T-Wolves. You start a fantasy draft. You pick one of those teams. You're like, okay, they haven't been too successful. Don't hate the jerseys. I'll pick them. A lot of young talent on the court. Things are starting to get a little testy. John Morant and Karl Anthony Towns tweeting at each other, stuff like that. This is like a new age playoff matchup. And I think that's kind of fun. T-Wolves won Saturday night, 119 to 118. A-Rod's so hot in the streets. What do you guys got tonight? So tonight, Celtics, Nets, Raptors, 76ers, Jazz, Mavs. Said that weird. Hawks, Heat, T-Wolves, Grizz, Pelicans, Suns on Tuesday. I'd hope I'd be flipping over a little bit more, I guess, this weekend. Watching an extra dog, which isn't an excuse. I played a little bit of MLB The Show. I like it. Makes me a little scared. Throwing MLB The Show, bring up a late night baseball game on my phone. Not a bad formula. It's kind of how I can consume. All right. I think I'm good on all of that. That was a lot of sports. Golf's doing weird stuff. They're like not hot in the streets right now. We played some cricket with cricket people on Friday. That was kind of cool. When that content comes out, go watch it. Cricket, hot in the streets. BBD, let's start wrapping it up. Like I mentioned last episode, we had our friend Jolly Olive joined us. We did a Yankees-Mets draft. A little long one. We were rolling. We've tightened it up a little. Yeah, maybe. Don't care. Let's see. I did like this one, Malachi Million. I think we talked some crap on the AL Central, like I just did this episode as well. And Malachi said, Jolly really talking about the AL Central as a Mets fan? Cough, 2015 World Series. Cough. It's tough. Tough. A couple Central people came out. Alex Van Deerdonk asked the big questions. Who's closing for Jolly's team? What are the lineups? We probably should have done lineups. That would have been fun. And number 3 is James McCann really that bad to where Higgy is better? That was kind of a topic of conversation. I don't know. It sounded like Mets fans were pretty worn out from James McCann.
Yeah, I guess you take contracts into account too. He's got
if this was a contract thing, you'd go Higgy or Trevino. But for this, it wasn't. Oh, and the other thing, Casey Robbins, this made me laugh. Casey Robbins said, we were talking about, or I had mentioned how on Monday night there was no Yankee game, and I was kind of lost. Like, what? Oh, and then we also talked about how sometimes if a game gets canceled, it can be a good thing. You're like, oh,
night opened
I just got a night open. Or it can be, if you're really looking forward to seeing your team play that night, then you're super bummed out.
It can go either way easily.
Like I think I was saying if it's a pre-rain out, like it's announced with ample time, then you're like, oh, okay.
Call it early afternoon.
Good. You just opened up 3.5 hours. Casey Robbins said, just dealt with 2 days of postponed games only to watch my White Sox get washed last night. The feels are intense. Well, they started playing games. Actually got worse for the White Sox. And last episode was 420. Love that. A lot of jolly love from you guys. That was great. And I want to give my guy John Heyman a shout out. Because I love sports universes. Chicago sports, I guess it's just been brutal all around. Cubs lost 3 out of 4 to the Pirates. White Sox are on a 7-game loser. The Bulls are getting abused by the Bucks. Tough Chicago sports week. You wouldn't really know that if you weren't in Chicago.
I like when we said it a lot. I like when citywide things get brought to our attention.
Something that's big in your sports universe, like a big Reds Bengals weekend, don't overlap a lot. But yeah, we don't feel that when you do. So, and just a reminder, if you're here, we are doing the second Wake and Jake episodes on Wednesday now. You probably know, but I probably say it again. I'm going to do my standout performance pretty quick. Thank you guys. Bake the algorithm. Like, review, share, follow. I think we're 614 subs right now. Okay. Sneak up on 7, 10 million. All of that. BBD, I forget if I gave this guy an award before. I don't think I did. He's been somewhat viral on the internet. Like, my heart thinks I already gave him an award, but I don't think I did. I'm giving it out to Jose Alvarado, the point guard on the Pelicans. If you're not familiar, backup point guard, listed at 6 foot 180. That's probably a lie. He's probably 5'10" and a half, 160. Little guy point guard. I think he's put in his grind. He's put in his time. I think he's a G League guy. You're probably familiar with him. He would hide on plays and come steal the ball from whoever was bringing it up on the court. Such a little guy move. But if you're going to do it, lean into it, and he has. And by the way, he stole the ball from Chris Paul in the playoff game the other night by doing that. So, I don't know. I guess this is kind of a Smalls Napoleon standout performance award. Jose Alvarado, Georgia Tech. If you haven't seen any of the videos, they're kind of worth Googling. They're ridiculous to a degree.
It's like had that work in a real game.
He'll literally almost stand by his bench like he's talking to his teammates, and then when the other team throws the ball in, he'll sneak up behind them and steal it. It's a little cheeky.
I think I saw one where they were inbounding on one side of the basket, and he kind of just hid on the other side.
Yeah.
Just
No, it's like if you've ever seen a football player lay down in the end zone for a kickoff return and they lateral to him. It's a little ridiculous. Someone in the chat just said Grand Theft Alvarado. That's fun.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's my bro of the night. Fail just called me out. I did say standout performance. Talking baseball coming up next. And how about this? The dude is playing 17 minutes a night in the playoffs against your Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul. So good for him, man. We love a grinding small. BBD, do you have bro? Standout?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of gave out some half points throughout the show.
A lot along the way.
But I think I have another guy I'd like to give a shout out to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jonas Valanciunas.
Ooh.
You know, we talked a little
NBA.
bit about that series. Now the Pelicans are giving them hell, and we just shouted out Alvarado, and Ingram's dropped a couple 30 burgers, and Valanciunas is on that team. He's the guy that his stat line's the one that popped up on ESPN.
Yeah.
15 boards, I think 26 points. It's like, he's a guy who's probably has had like a good career,
Really good career.
and also like he's probably pretty motivated to get one. He got kind of flipped from that Raptors team that went on to win. He's flipped for Marc Gasol. He's now on the Pelicans. He was traded to those Grizzlies, who are now
Right.
kind of the fun young team. Doesn't get to be part of that.
Awesome
On the
career.
Pelicans. It's been like good for a little while now.
Yeah. He's like a
2012.
9-year NBA guy. Put up 18 and 17.8, 11.4 this year. And yeah, it's just tough because the big man is
It's faded a little bit.
faded from the sport.
It feels like a lot of guys you could mix and match pretty easily, figure out who fits in your budget. But
Yeah, I remember
that's a guy who's probably pretty motivated to be part of a run.
made almost $100 million playing basketball. That's nuts. It's like awesome and deserved. Also nuts.
Yeah.
I think you could say it both ways.
People get like, it's a little different conversation, but talk about like salaries of players and stuff. NBA has become a bit inflated. They've had good CBAs for the players, I'd say generally, and but there's also just like math, like that league makes as much as the other leagues, and there's only 15 guys per team, and hey,
Both sides are right. It's crazy how much these players make, but
it's
the league
escalated so quick.
the league
too.
makes so much money, and the players are what makes the league go. So yeah, pay them.
like especially in that league.
That's how it works.
That's how it works in every league, but like especially that one, the players are such the face. Like you're kind of a fan of a guy, especially now.
Feo, GeoGuessr has dropped. I think we got to drop too. Talking
Check out
baseball going live. Check out everything JOMBOY Media, Pinstripe Strong, Talking Giants, the GeoGuessr, JOMBOY JTV, an hour to win it. Our lives on the line. Chris Rose rotation.
Trevor May today. Castellanos was on
Castellanos on
last
Friday. If you didn't listen to that, he's awesome. Talking Yanks. Breakdowns are picking up steam. All of our stuff on AMP now. Jolly's doing the fantasy thing a little bit. Arm to Fame. All of it.
The Shea Station. Happy birthday, Jolly.
Happy birthday, Jolly.
Draft
Stay
week.
safe.
Giants.
Yeah, talking. We're doing draft stuff next up.
Draft stuff.
Justin